This is Tom Colley for Through the Ropes Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Michael, the bounty hunter, world-class heavyweight contender. Michael, like I say, I've been chasing you for a while, so thank you for coming on. Two back-to-back victories this year in the ring with Martin Bakole. Where are you at in your career now? I mean, it seems like a lot of roads are pointing to that Bakole rematch.
Yeah. That's something that I've already knew that I wasn't going to get a lot of credit for until later down the line. A lot of people think even now that, oh, he's a better fighter. He's actually, to me, he's a worse fighter. He's dropped a little bit because of the size. He's less active. Um, he's the same guy, but yeah. So I'm just looking to stay active. I'm hoping to fight us here in September. I have a date September 28th. To stay busy and hopefully to close out the year and open it with the big bang.
We've seen that what Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing. It's almost heavyweight league he's got going on. It's really opened up the division. Andy Ruiz and Jarrel Millers we saw, and then Jared Anderson and Bakole, and of course yourself in there. So I'm sure that you're going to be wanting to get involved in that mix. September, is that a bit too soon for that? Is that another sort of building fight to get back to the bigger fights?
Well, I'm ready whenever the fights come. We're just staying busy, trying to keeping ourselves active, getting ourselves up on the rankings on all the sanctioning bodies. Right now, we're mainly focused on the WBA, but we're still working with trying to work up the ranks on the rest of them. And yeah, so I'll hopefully to fight September and maybe even December. So
they're talking about talked about Martin Bakole being such an avoided man in the division, and I think you stopped Bakole, didn't you, when you fought, and you're the only man to have beaten him. Does it frustrate you? Do you feel like you don't get enough credit for that?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. He's just had a victory, so a lot of his people and his fans will be up there and comment, but when they really look in the details and they see what's going on, it wasn't a fluke. You know what I'm saying? They try to say he hurt his arm, but he hurt his arm in the late in the end of the rounds. If he did hurt his arm, my arm was hurt, my eye was hurt, my hand was hurt. So there's no excuses when you get in that ring like that. So um, yeah, I definitely think I would beat him a lot easier now, and I know that fight is going to come at some point, and the credit will be right back in my hands. I know that I don't have any fear on fighting him. I went to his hometown and in his backyard, and and I did my thing. So it wouldn't be nothing to go do it again.
Michael, we've seen you have a fantastic career so far. You still only got one loss on your record to Oleksandr Usyk, and that was a really close fight. Do you feel like you're almost avoided a bit in heavyweight division? Or you had the draw with Povetkin, which a lot of people would argue that you won that fight, and then we haven't seen you in there with some of the bigger names like we'd sort of have expected. Do you think that you've been avoided?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely been avoided. This is something that's been kind of in my bloodline. My dad had a very similar career. Nobody wanted to fight him. Just to, he's a world beaters. You know what I'm saying? So at any moment and any time, there's no type of specific way to beat me. If you have to be fast or tall, or if you're a puncher, then you can deal with Michael Hunter. They don't really know what I'm capable of, but they know I'm capable of winning. So yeah, it's definitely not been an easier road for me. But all I can do is just keep on going. Keep paddling.
So you mentioned potentially there's definitely a fight in September and potentially another one this year. Do you know much about? Is there any names floating about the guys you could be fighting?
No, not really. Still trying to kind of work it out. Throwing some names out there. Obviously the Bakole fight. You know, um, I know Bakole in his heart he would want that fight, but I know that he's being advised, by a group of different people, promotion, management, to steer away from the bounty hunter. So, eventually though, the more he wins, I mean, the thing is I only have one loss, and my loss was before Bakole got his loss. So if he's improved, You know what I'm saying? I've had to improve from off of my loss. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that eventually that only time will tell. And if he's not really scared and to look a man in his eye and to get that revenge back, which I know he does, and I think I think he really believes that he could beat me. I know his team doesn't believe that, but I think he does, and I would love to put a stop to it.
There was a lot of talk before the fight. Jared Anderson, your countryman, was the next face of American boxing, and Martin's obviously derailed that. Were you surprised by the result, having shared the ring, or?
No, I called I called it. I kind of predicted what was going to happen. Um, I think, like I said, I think Anderson is capable. You know, has the capabilities of performing a lot better and showing up. I just think that he had the wrong game plan and the wrong mindset, and that just comes with experience and not having that that amateur pedigree and having all those experiences of fights of losing, winning, losing. So and how to exactly approach such a big guy. So.
Have you had any conversations yet? Have you been reached out to by any of the promotional teams or Turkey Al Sheikh about any Saudi cards?
I've had a couple of people reach out to me. So we'll see where it goes. Not necessarily about Turkey Al Sheikh, but just some movement and continuing to stay active and staying busy. So, the real fighters know and the real people know that I really am the boogeyman. And if Bakole's the boogeyman, I mean, I'm the one that's in his nightmares right now. So uh, it's an easy one for me. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we'll maybe see each other down the line. So I could show 'em the world who's the baddest man. Maybe we need to have I said we need to have a BMF belt. You know what I'm saying? Show who's the baddest man around, and make it happen.
So at 36 now, Michael, we know that for a heavyweight that you can still be in your prime. Do you feel as good as ever right now? And is your ambition still to capture that world heavyweight title or get your shot?
Yes. I've always felt, I was ahead of my time. And, now, time is catching up. I still feel, I'm in the prime. I'm in my grace. I have a lot of, I could see, the competition out there and I could compete with the best of them for sure and beat them. I could beat them all. And I just need the opportunity. That's it.
Another fight on the same card, so you were there live, you would have seen it. Jarrel Miller, Andy Ruiz, great fight. Did you think that a draw was a fair result? And again, I'm firing a lot of names at you, but I guess you'd be open to fighting one of those guys as well, would you?
Yeah, I think it was definitely it was a fair call. It could have went. I think that it could have went Big Baby Miller's way. I thought he did enough to pull it off, to be honest. But the call was I still call it still a fair shot. It wasn't like over exaggerated or anything. They're two big guys. It's not like it was a whole lot of action around. What I'm saying they both kind of got a little tired, and but I thought Big Baby gave the better efforts. He pushed the big boy on Andy Ruiz on his back foot, which we never see. So that was really interesting for me to see for Andy Ruiz to be going backwards the whole fight. And yeah, I thought it was interesting. And I tip my hat off to Jarrel Miller. I think Big Baby, I don't think those fights are not fights that will be in front of me. Big Baby is a boy, is my homie. And Andy Ruiz I've always kind of touched him up since we was young. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him when he was 16 years old or something like that. First, coming out of Mexico. So, it's something me and him have a long history, and he's never gotten the best of me at not one day. So, it would be blasphemy for him to step in the ring with me.
Something I just wanted to throw at you. I don't know what your thoughts were on this. We know you fought a cruiserweight and had a good career at cruiserweight, moved up to heavyweight. We've now got this bridgerweight division. I don't know where you are with your weight, but you've got Lawrence Okolie there, who's looking for a big name opponent, world champion at bridgerweight, and that's an opportunity to capture a world title battle. Is that something you've ever considered? Would you consider that fight?
Yeah. I like Lawrence. I really like Lawrence Okolie. I think I respect his craft. He's had a lot of ups and downs and stuff like that. But yeah, that would be a fight I would love to, enter the ring and share the ring with him. I respect him, and I think that there would be a good fight. You know what I'm saying? I think fighters like us need to come and collab together more to try to do things together. So that would be something I would fight. I mean that I would do. No animosity, no, nothing. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's my weight class regardless. Usually, I'm right in that weight class, that bridgerweight. If I'm below that, then I'm a little too small. If I'm above that, I'm a little too big. So that's not my natural weight class.
Hmm. I think that would definitely be an interesting fight and one that would capture a lot of imagination as well. Moving on to that wider heavyweight scene, Michael. We've got some great fights coming up, as I'm sure you know. Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois. Daniel's almost had Joshua and Daniel have both almost had a resurgence in recent times. But actually, Joshua's going in as the challenger against Dubois, who's been awarded the world title. How do you see it unfolding that fight?
I think that if Daniel Dubois approaches the fight like he did with the Hergovich fight, I think he's going to get knocked out. I think Anthony Joshua, his he's still doing a lot of growing and evolving and stuff like that. So we never really know what type of Anthony Joshua is going to come. But as of lately, you could see that he's going the right direction. He's been doing a lot of different boxing stuff, a lot of feints and a lot of changing levels and stuff like that. So I think that he's going to spark. I think he's going to spark Daniel Dubois. I think that Dubois he he used his head too much in the last fight. He was blocking with his head. It seemed like, and I thought it was a great effort by Daniel Dubois, and he's courageous and has a great heart. But I just think that the game plan, and I don't think you could do that with such a great puncher like Anthony Joshua.
The main event of last weekend as well, Terence Crawford, Madrimov is sort of, I wouldn't say controversy, but there's been a bit of talk about was it a fair result? You were there. Did you think the right man won on the night?
Yeah. I thought, obviously Terrence Crawford had a little harder time. He was going up in weight. The guys are, they get bigger. And when you go up in weight, those guys can endure more. So it's not the same, type of fight that you will have with somebody in your own weight class or a smaller weight class. Because if you're a boxer puncher like Terrence Crawford, you know that one of these punches, all you got to do is hit them nice and flush and right on the button. That then they're gonna start breaking down. But when you got those bigger weight classes, they can endure more. They're willing to take more get hit, and while they're throwing a punch as well. So I think he just had a little harder time dealing with the weight and um, the guy actually being naturally bigger. I heard Terrence Crawford was big in weight, but just in size itself, and so. But I thought the right man did win. I thought he did enough to win. I thought it was by one or a couple rounds, but I thought he didn't seem to be in great danger of any kind or anything like that. I wasn't watching it like I was scoring the fight. So, but anytime I looked up, it seemed like uh, Terrence was pretty much in control.
There was a lot of talk, wasn't there, Ben, talking about the weight of Crawford going on to fight Canelo Alvarez would have been an even higher weight. Looks like that fight's off now. I don't know if you saw much of that, but it looks like
Yeah.
Turkey Alashek has called the whole and Canelo himself to that fight, so that won't be happening. Do you think that would have been a step too far to go up that much weight against Canelo?
I think that if anybody could do it, that's a good fight. Terrence Crawford, Canelo. I think that's he could. It's a way to make. It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. I can see him going in as the underdog. Canelo's a very strong dude, even though I think Terrence Crawford is a little wiry, a little bit more wiry, a little bit more elusive. A little skilled, a certain skill set, but it's hard to deal with a Canelo who's been experienced, who's been in there, who's got a great chin and has that Mexican pride. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would have been a tough task to deal with.
And Michael, the biggest fight in the heavyweight division as of right now, of course, is the rematch we've got coming up with Usyk and Fury. If you wanted to start, you obviously shared the ring with Usyk, and that was a fantastic fight. Did you expect the result that we got in the first fight? And do you expect a similar result the second time around?
Yeah, I called it. I called it. That fight as well. Pretty accurate. I seen that. I kind of used the way, they're both great fighters. I think that, if you look overall of their career, that Tyson Fury has been spotty. I think that they've pushed him and they've made him be, a great champion. But Usyk has grown to be a great champion. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that was the deciding factor. We've seen Tyson Fury, do all sorts of silly stuff, look bad in certain fights that he should have won, and um, be very spotty in occasions. So, but we know that he does have a good fan base, and it comes from the other side of the water, and he beat Klitschko. I think that was like his best performance to me, um, and his best win. Deontay Wilder really, wasn't really. I mean, he had a big energy over his head, but as skill wise, we all knew that he wasn't the greatest fighter. So I think it's going to be very similar. I think it's going to be very similar. I think this all depends on when you're at that level. It depends on your approach, on how they approach the fight, for the most part, their strategy or their game plan. So that which always can alter the fight. You know what I'm saying? But I think that Usyk kind of has the key to getting to him. I think that Tyson Fury would have to come out and do some stuff that. I don't know, be a little more crazy. He would have to do stuff that, was, out of the box. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't see that happening.
Do you think that Fury would be better off going on the front foot? Do you think that'd be his best approach to try and change the result from the first fight using his weight?
Yes, I do think he should go on the front foot very early, make it a tough, and then they'll drag it out at the end. Even though Usyk he's a endurance, he gets his fight off on uh, the back end of the fight. I just think that if Tyson Fury puts on a good game plan early on, that he can make it really tough. I thought that that's what would happen. That Tyson Fury would win beginning of the rounds, but Tyson Fury was able to win those beginning of the rounds and then win bigger in the end, which I kind of thought that Usyk would do at the end, would win the back end of the fight, and Tyson Fury would win the front end of the fight. But it ended up being a little bit controversy, and Usyk ended up stealing a couple of those rounds, which I thought was a perfect and brilliant idea.
We know you're in the process of sort of working your way back up to those big fights, Michael. The Usyk fight at heavyweight, is that a fight you could get yourself into that position that you'd want that rematch chance to avenge that only defeat that you have?
Oh, absolutely. I would definitely love to fight. I wanted that fight the next day. So um, you see things, we all grow, you know what I'm saying? It's been a while. I'm not sure if I will get that be in a position to get that fight, but I'm getting closer. I'm inching closer to that position. So we'll see. We'll see. I definitely want. That's the only fight, basically, as a athlete, as a competitor, that I would actually want. Other than that, I would just want to show the fans that I'm the best.
We're all looking forward to seeing you back right in the mix in some of the biggest fights. I've been following your career since the start, and I can't wait to see it. 2024 looks like you're closing out on another fight. And is there any message that you've got to the fans or people tuning in and following your journey for what's to come and following you?
Yeah. If y'all think Bakole could whoop me, keep pushing Turk Ali Sheik to press that fight, and Yeah, look up the background. Y'all know what it is. It's the bounty hunter. That's it.
Tom Colley for Free Ropes Boxing with Michael, the bounty hunter. Thank you, Michael.
Appreciate you.